Okay, friends, I want to talk about the big R, racism. And not in the traditional sense. I have a question actually. Is racism on a spectrum? Hear me out. Is it a matter of you're either racist or not racist, meaning there is no spectrum, or is there a spectrum where like there are levels to the racistness? Is that a word? Racism. Is there a spectrum of racism? Can you be like a little bit racist and like medium racist and like super high racist? Like, is there a spectrum? And I'm wondering this because there was a guy in my car. I was, driving for, I don't know, Lyft or Uber, one of those. Um, and I probably shouldn't have named them, but whatever, I did. Um, and and he made a couple of comments that I was like, this guy's racist, you know? And then I'm like, where on the racist spectrum does he fall? Then I'm like, is there a spectrum? So like, this is how my mind processes. So we're in the car, we're behind this car. We have the green arrow. This car slows down before the green arrow turns yellow and then stops. So we missed the light. Like we couldn't make the left turn. Like the person in front of me did that. And so then he goes, it was probably an Asian woman. And I was like, racist. And then he doubles down by offering a joke. And he goes, what's the last sign that an Asian woman sees before she gets off the freeway? Like, I don't know. And he goes, and I'm like, racist. And I'm like, these jokes are definitely very racist. Or at least stereotypical. They show some biases in him. And I'm like, is that like the high? He didn't say anything. He talked about the stereotype in which, Asian people can't drive well. But it wasn't like I hate Asians. It wasn't like I hate, these people, or I nothing negative about what he would like to happen to them or anything like that, or like I hope they even get in an accident. None of that. So I'm like, is there a spectrum? Like, is he on the lower end of the racist spectrum because he tells racist jokes? Or because he believes the stereotype? And also, like, is it even wrong to, like, understand the stereotypes? And I know they can be dangerous in cases of, like, where, like, black men are gunned down in the street, but, like, a stereotype about a specific group of people not being able to drive well, is that dangerous? I don't know. And then I started to wonder, like, spectrum or no spectrum? Do I, as a person of color, need to be the one carrying the flag to fight racism for everyone? I can be outraged at it for everyone. But do I have to carry the banner? Do I have to be the one fighting it? Like, in that moment, I was like, do I need to say something about he's being racist? Do I have to fight that battle for others? Trust me, it's exhausting fighting it for myself and my own people. It's exhausting. So, like, if I'm now required to take a stand for all people when they experience racism or injustice of some kind, like, I'm disgusted by it for everyone. Do I have to fight it for everyone? And if I choose not to, does that place me on the racism spectrum? And and I'm thinking about the spectrum because I work in education, and of course there's the autism spectrum, and like, but you got to have autism to be on the spectrum. So I'm like, well, if there's a racism spectrum, do you have to be some kind of racist already to be on the spectrum? Like, does the spectrum can't end with not racist. It has to end just short of that. It has to start from a little bit racist and go up. Because like, you don't end up on the autism spectrum if you don't have autism, right? So like, you can't end up on the racism spectrum if you don't have some racism in you. And so, like, anyways, where does this start? Where does this end? I want to hear your thoughts. Is there a spectrum for racism? Is it all or nothing? If I'm against racism, is that all or nothing? Do I have to fight everybody's racist situations and encounters? Do I have to combat it all the time? Can I pick and choose to, like, fight for those things that I feel are most dangerous to people? You know, is it wrong to, like, see and understand and believe the stereotypes because you've experienced that stuff yourself? Some of the stereotypes, people fit. If the shoe fits, you're wearing it, right? It never does it fit everybody in that group. And people say, well, that's the danger. But I think that's also extreme, and I don't even know if that's a thing. Like, does it have to fit 100% of the people? Nothing ever will. But is it common that you could find a certain thing in a certain place at a certain time? Yeah. You know, and there are stereotypes for women, you know. And sometimes I fit that angry black woman stereotype. Y'all know I got a whole YouTube channel dedicated to it. KW, the Angry Black Woman. So sometimes we do fit the stereotype. Does it make me racist if I point out the fact that we do actually fit the stereotype? I don't know. Let's hear it. Talk to me. Talk to me, family. Talk to me.